Hello, everyone. My name is Wellington Gomez. Welcome to a new season of Flipping the Table. I'm here with TRR correspondent Kay King. Hi, Kay.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can obviously tell, Jax is no longer here right now, but he did leave a message, and we would love for all of you Flipping the Table listeners and loyal fans to hear what Jack had to say.
Hi guys, Jack here. I know the new season of RHONJ has already started, and I would be hosting weekly recaps here on Flipping the Table. However, I have a lot of exciting things happening in my life right now, and I won't be able to host weekly recaps anymore. I'm going to be taking a break from Flipping the Table, but this is not a goodbye. I want to thank Rundown Media and the Reality Rundown team of producers who work on the show every week, and especially all of the listeners that tune into each and every one of our recaps. It truly means the world to me. Again, this is not an end of Flipping the Table. The show will go on, and I just ask you to support it moving forward as you supported me. Make sure you are following me on all socials at RHONJ Obsessed, where I cover all of the latest RHONJ updates. And thank you for supporting me through this project. See you soon.
Ah, we will miss you, Jack, but this is not total goodbye. Like he said, this is just a see you later. With that said, you can already guess why it took so long for season two of Flipping the Table to come back, even though Real Houses of New Jersey has already premiered and we're like on episode like 10 or 11 already. And we haven't done any recaps, but it was a lot of moving parts. And the team at Rundown Media, we kind of know that this show is really listened by so many supporters and so many, listeners that we're here from the beginning with Jack. So with Jack's blessing, we're gonna keep the lights on and we're gonna keep bringing the best Real Houses in New Jersey recaps and exclusives that we can, and keep flipping the table because what else, There's going to be a lot of moving parts, so bear with us. Okay, bear with me, but we're gonna make it happen. And let's get into this recap.
You'll never see how toxic someone is until you breathe fresher air.
This Jersey girl has the luck of the Irish, and nobody's screwing with my pot of gold.
I may be over the top. Hi! But I'd rather be bougie than basic. I'm a loyal friend and a lethal enemy.
Nasty.
I'm too busy running a business to care about yours.
Payback's a bitch.
What do you think?
So start barking.
Blood may be thicker than water,
Ooh.
but it's harder to clean when it spills.
The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, right?
Yes.
Right? Season 13. Oh my God. So, general thoughts. Have you been liking Jersey this season?
Let me just say this. I love Jersey because, most of the people have been on there for a while. And I like them because they are like core a group of friends, right? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like strangers just came together. Like, they actually knew each other. Like, they've had long history with each other. And that's what made me, like Jersey. What I don't like and what I think is bringing down the show is this Gorga versus Teresa family history. Like, we've been on this roller coaster for so long. Like, I really feel like it's time to get off.
Yeah.
I don't know how the network could do that, but I do think that we need to kind of like, okay, let's turn this thing back into some funness. But
Yeah.
as far as this season goes, I like it. I still like it. Some of the new girls are there, but I do think that their drama kind of overshadows what some of the new girls could potentially bring.
So, okay. So, talking about the new girls, let's get into some changes that happened this season. Jackie was demoted and is now a friend of. And to me, it seems supernatural. I feel like Jackie's position in this show is to be a friend of, because we only pan to her when we need her. We only, they only edit her in when she really has a good moment, instead of having to give us moments that we really don't care for because she's a full-time housewife, so they have to. So I feel like production kind of realized, okay, if Jackie's cool with being a friend of, then let's just make her a friend of, because we know that her individual scenes and her storylines is not connecting with the audience. What do you think about Jackie being a friend of this season?
Well, I like Jackie because she was giving it to Teresa at the beginning.
Yeah.
Whether she was winning or losing, like she didn't care. She just went up to bat with Teresa all the time. But do I think that she makes a good friend of? Absolutely, because I really, like you said, sometimes people can stay on the show and it's kind of like forced storyline, right? Like, and we
Yeah.
don't want that. Like, we want something that's going to be organic,
Hmm.
and just kind of like flows in with what everybody else has going on. So I think making her a friend of was definitely great for the network. Like you said, she comes in, she does what she needs to do, she says what she needs to say, and then we may not see her until the next scene. And I think that that's kind of perfect.
Yeah, and I think it goes to show that not every woman on this show needs to be a real housewife. We've seen throughout the years that there's been some great friends of that have carried the show. Marlo before her peach was an amazing friend of, so there's space for people to do great jobs as a friend and not need to be a real housewife. So Jackie, I think this is your bag. Lean into it and just really do really good in this because you can negotiate a great friend of contract if you're bringing it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, because I mean, just because you're a friend of, like you said, Marlo was a friend of for how many seasons? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
She must. She had to be doing it for some coin.
right. So
You
that's what.
know.
So listen, if I could be a friend of and still get some money and still make good money, even being a friend of, listen,
Mhm.
sign me up for that.
Right. Right. Me too. First impressions on the newbies Danielle, Rachel, and Jen Fessler. So first of all, Danielle Cabral, Staten Island girl. I love Teresa. So that anybody that kind of allies with Teresa to me is always one of my favorites because it's like, please, no, please, let's protect mother, aka Teresa. I like Danielle. I think she's real. I think she is a edginess that we need on this show. I feel like she plays a lot into that. Like, I don't give a fuck and I don't play no bullshit type of mood. But I like her. I like her. I think that her kids are super funny. Her daughter is hilarious. And I definitely see that. I definitely see a lot potential there with that whole story with her brother because if her brother and his family are fame whores, like another brother and family that we know of, allegedly, um, then they could be on the show and we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if her brother is interested, but do we want to get into another brother
No,
sister situation?
absolutely not. And I wish you would have never even brought that up. Like, girl, listen. And I feel, but in all honesty, like I feel like she brought it up because of what is going on with Teresa and them. And I think it's kind of like her trying to make her mark so that she can stay like
Yeah.
on the cast next season. But do we really need that? No, we don't need no more family drama added on to this show. Her kids love, like I love like her core
Hmm.
family dynamics. Like I really do love that. The story that she kind of told about why her and her brother don't talk, like I'm just like, now I would like to talk to him and kind of get his side of the story because I'm just like, dude,
It is okay. So
really?
we're gonna get into it, but it's definitely a interesting story.
Yeah.
What do you think about Rachel Fuda?
Um,
She's just whatever.
yeah, like I mean, honestly, I feel like they're all like just whatever, like and but
I
again,
mean, it's the
usually
first
when that's
season.
what I
They
was
have,
gonna say.
you
Yep.
know, they have
Yeah,
to
usually when
they
it's the
have to
first
get
season, okay.
comfortable.
Yes.
I feel like especially Jennifer, not Jennifer, I'm sorry, especially Rachel Fuda. I feel like, she did an interview with Entertainment Tonight where she said that she was a fan of the show. She basically said, at this point, almost every woman that joins this show
It's
joins
like,
because
okay.
they're a fan, meaning they're friends of from some of these women or know these women from some sort of close circle. And then, by watching the show, of course I want to be on the Real Houses of New Jersey. My friend Teresa's on it, so why? And I see how great she's doing in life, so why not?
Right.
I understand that part, that there's no way to say that you're not a fan of the Real Housewives before you joined,
Right.
because it's such a
Not at
big
this not at this stage in the game. Like if it was like
right.
first and second seasons of Housewives, sure. But
Yeah,
no, like
like
most of these shows have been around for so long. It's like, yeah, everybody's a fan at this point. And
everybody is a
I love
fan at
those
this
that
point.
come in. Yeah.
However, what sometimes to me is like, I'm still not connecting with her is because I feel that she's still sometimes I feel like shocked at the fact that she's there. Like, like I feel like sometimes she does like it's like, oh my God, I'm really here. Like I'm a real housewife of New like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, girl, like snap, like let's
Wake
get
up and
into
do
it.
something.
Like,
Give us something. Yeah.
I feel like, and I can understand that because if you go from being a regular person to being in a reality show where there's 3,000 cameras around, it's a big change. But she definitely needs like a little push, like like.
Does. I will say I am interested to hear about like the whole stepson situation.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think, and I don't know if it came up yet. I can't even remember. But I know like she's trying to adopt him and stuff like that. So I would kind of like to see what that journey is like and why it took so long to get there and all of that. So that could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it could be interesting. So what do you think about Jen Fessler? And also something very interesting is that why is she a friend? Because I feel like they treat her like a full-time cast member and the fans love her, and like I really think that Bravo probably didn't think that she was going to connect too much like to the fandom, but she's really loved, but she is the new friend of the season. What do you think of her?
I like her.
Me
To
too.
me, honestly, she's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And I also like her no nonsense like type of attitude, right? Like
Right.
she's like, nope, you said, or why did you, or So I kind of like that about her, and then I also like her because she's kind of like silly and goofy, and especially like when they were on the bus, like going to Ireland, and
Yeah.
she's kind of like spilling like some of her secrets of being in the industry. So yeah, I think she's cool, and if they did upgrade her to a full housewife next season, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I think that, she's cute, she's cool, she's funny. The only thing that I would say though is that I do wish that like she calls out Margaret when Margaret does something wrong, but I feel I wish she was more like vocal in that moment when Margaret is wailing to be like, hold on.
Right.
Like, like that's the only thing about her, because I feel like when it comes to other women from the cast, they're very quick to start like point like, why are you doing this, but when it comes to Margaret, Melissa, Jackie, it's always like a gray area with them, and that I don't like. So but I do think, I will say, these new women, I feel like if they are giving a chance, and I feel like they could be good. I feel like they could be
I
good.
think they definitely deserve a second season. I always say that. Like, you have to give a housewife at least 2 seasons, because the first season, like you said, it's just kind of learning the ropes. So.
So the girls were speculating. We're gonna jump all around. The girls were speculating that there is more to the story about Danielle's situation with her brother. And Danielle decided to confront them. So I want to watch this because it was just
I was really mad to hear that you guys were all talking about my brother last night. Because when I talked to you guys at your house, Jen, it was so honest.
What was the demise of your relationship?
So I had blocked him on social media because he was making fun of me, and he lost his mind. He's like, I want you out of my wedding, and that was it.
That's sad.
And that should have been good enough for each one of you.
I just didn't understand. You block someone on social media, they say, guess what, sister? Done, disowned.
Yeah, crazy.
If that's what actually happened, that's cuckoo.
But it is.
I know what it takes to get to that point where I wouldn't even bother anymore. That's why it didn't make any sense.
But that's what you're reaching for. You're like, oh, she had to do something.
Maybe
Right.
the sister-in-law. Maybe there's a problem there.
Don't even go there. I blocked him on Instagram, and he called me like a raving maniac. Period, period, period.
Just wondering what the rest of the story
That is the story.
No, I think you know. Say it.
Shut the up. Why do I have to be villainized in this situation? Why can't it just be?
I don't think they're
Everybody's villainizing you, Danielle, for real.
Who the wants to be friends with people like that? I don't. I got very hurt. I'm done explaining myself. I'm done. Thank you. I'm done. I'm finished. Danielle, don't leave. Don't leave. I'm gonna go. I'm just done.
I can't.
Danielle's a drama queen. I don't understand being pissed because people are asking questions.
I know. I'm done.
I don't think I could possibly be more hurt by what's going on in my family life. But what they're coming at me with is so heartbreaking. I'm done.
That's ridiculous.
Like I give a
They're trying to pull me out as a liar, which is everything I am not. It would have hurt me less if he would have just sucker punched me right in the face. I'm just done explaining myself to everybody.
Listen, listen. I have thoughts. I have thoughts. First of all, Jackie, if she's telling you that this is the story, that part where Jackie said, "No, I know there's more. Say it." To me, I was like, "Calm down."
Very much.
Like, yo, what is going on with it? Like, who is this person? Who is Jackie? Like, calm down for
and
real.
it's saying it like she knows that there's something else. Like, I mean, do you know there's something else, Jackie? Like, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, like, I don't know. Like, okay, I'll see. To me, it sounds crazy, right? Like that
Okay,
your
but
brother,
okay, Kate, listen to this though. Let's say we're siblings, right? And let's say that I don't know, for some reason you blocked me on Instagram. We had a fight, you blocked me on Instagram. I feel I I feel disrespected that you blocked me on Instagram because we're siblings. Like, oh, I understand that this is just what I think, you know? I understand that me and you can have an argument, but you should never block me. So then I call you and I start disrespecting you for disrespecting me.
uh-huh.
I could see how that could have been a big argument to the point that there was some distance and then the distance just got bigger.
That's what I was gonna say too, because that's usually how it happens. Though it's like, especially if you don't handle it right then and there and you allow time to go past, it is kind of hard to come back. But like I said, I would not question her and be like, no, there's got to be more to the story. I would be wanting to know what the brother side of the story is, absolutely, because I'm just like, dude, is this really the reason why you stopped talking to your sister? Like, it just sounds crazy to me that this would be what your breaking point was to stop talking to your sister. And I think what the girls are saying, like, and maybe not, if not did anything happen with that situation, but were there other instances where you guys had fallen out and maybe this was the last straw? I think that's maybe how they were trying to act, but just not in the right way. But also after the first and second time y'all saying it and she said, no, this is the story, just let it go. Like, I mean,
right.
What's it to you for real? Honestly, that they ain't talking. Like, what difference does it make? It's not like you see her brother.
Right. To me, I was just like, first of all, like, it's not like the brother is part of this cast. It's not like we're about to bring the brother into production. So why are you trying to go so hard into finding out what is going on? That's why, to me, I feel like it's not fair that they're trying to villainize her and her story. Because if I am coming into a new friend group and I'm telling my story, you can't challenge my story,
right?
Because you think it's something, you don't know me.
Yep.
Even if you think it's crazy, you have to take my word for it until you meet someone else that I don't, like. So that's why I feel like it's bold for Jackie and them to even question it.
Yeah, let me just tell you, once she said that me and my brother had this falling out, that would have been enough for me. Because listen, we got enough.
I'm tired.
I don't want to hear nothing else about your brother. Okay.
I'm tired of the brother stuff, chow. So I mean, we have to talk about it. There's no way to get around it. The Gorgas versus the Judices.
Oh, what is her new last name?
Ruelas, but she doesn't go by it.
Gotcha.
I
mean, Judice is a popular name, like,
right?
A ton of money off that name, so I wouldn't change it either.
Yeah, and she said on Watch What Happens Live that actually Louis also didn't want her to change it because he felt like, you're a personality. You should keep your personality name.
Yeah,
and
her daughters too.
And her daughters as well. So this has been a tale of all time. The fact that we're going through this again, it's low-key insane.
It really is.
We saw Joe and Joe go at it season after season, get physical. We've seen
those were the best of times, though, I will say.
Oh my God, no, those were like that was Jersey.
Yeah.
We've seen this family go up, down, more downs than ups. but we've seen Teresa and Melissa go to Ultimate Girls Trip. Like, the fact that we're back here, to me, is like insane.
Very much.
So at Rachel Fuda's Jersey Shore house, Teresa and Joe sat down to talk, and things went a little left. I want to show you because it was just a mess.
Because I should make it better.
Wait. You're happy, right?
Yes.
You're happy. Why are you so like
So
you're
what?
so mean like you now? No, like
That's not true, Joey.
I'm happy. I've been happy for a very long time.
I don't think so.
You know?
No. Because if you were happy, you would want to be a beautiful family.
We didn't keep you out of the family. You kept us out of the family. This is your blood.
I did.
And Jennifer made fun of him, and you chimed
No.
in.
For your behavior that night was a little bitch, girl.
I'm a bitch now.
Bitch boy. Sorry, you are.
You chimed in. Like,
No.
what are you talking about?
You're embarrassing.
She called you
I'm gonna
bitch
be
boy,
low.
but Joe, you're playing it real well.
Ah, shut up. I met you in months and you me.
Come on, man.
Shut the up.
But we're so unhappy. We're gonna go get therapy.
Go get therapy. You should, because then maybe we could be a happy family.
We became the biggest disappointment in life.
You could change that. You could change that.
Thank you, honey. The matriarch of our family.
Poor Melissa. This is the problem with Joe and Melissa. It's like any opportunity they have to try to make Teresa look bad, they almost double down on it.
Back up. I'll guide you.
If I would have asked Melissa to be in my wedding, that means I would have been happy. I'm not gonna put you in my wedding if you're trashing me.
No.
And Melissa puts on a sweet, pretty little face and gets away with it. Okay, but you know what they say? Beware of the wolf in sheep's clothing.
I just, Teresa likes to act like she's a changed person, but like my therapist told me, if you pretend it doesn't exist, you never move forward.
So
Let me just say this. The one thing I love about Dolores is that she doesn't really say too much. Like when they going back and forth and they, Dolores is probably, she's tired of it too. I can definitely tell it. But I like that about her. That's what I do not like about Jennifer though. It's like let them argue back and forth. Girl, like you don't have to comment every time they go back and forth about anything. Because at the end of the day, today they ain't together. They're not together. 5 years from now, hey, they could be on their high horse and they could, get back together. That's why I try not to get in the middle of stuff like that, because then I'm hating them for you, but then y'all get back together now. You know what I mean? I'm out in the cold. Like Jennifer, just stop worrying about what's going on between them.
yeah, no, I definitely agree that Jennifer sometimes chimes in too much, and we're gonna get into it later when she chimes in a little bit way too much. But I also feel like I can resonate with that level of friendship of like, Jennifer is really cool, is really good friends with Teresa, and she feels like she gets played all the time. Like, I also feel like Jennifer understands the entire premise of the show, and she knows that, she feels in her heart that Melissa and Joe are doing this to make Teresa look bad. So she knows that she has to record a confessional, mentioning this, because I feel like Jennifer legitimately thinks this way, like she thinks like I need to tip the scales in a way. So when she feels like Teresa is being dragged too much, she may do something to try to help her. And sometimes that can show up in scene with her trying to defend Teresa, or sometimes that shows up her in confessional with, dogging Melissa or explaining something for Teresa. I think she's a loyal friend. I think that she kind of needs to butt out of the family business a little bit, because she sometimes make it worse and it's not always good for Teresa. So just like, let Teresa handle it. Teresa can handle Melissa.
She been handling them for so long now. And I mean, my thing is, listen, and again, I'm not Italian. And so, that's why I also sometimes can't comprehend how bad they try to, make it work. That's part of their culture, right? Like family sticks together, but it's almost like, listen, y'all are so toxic for each other. If y'all are not willing to come to the table and say, I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care what you said in the interview yesterday. Here today at 12 o'clock a.m., p.m., whatever, we are deciding at this moment that we are no longer talking negative about each other. Everything in the past has been erased. We can no longer use that as a weapon towards each other. Until they get to that point, this is going to be a vicious cycle. And again, as a Bravo fan, I'm actually on the verge of getting tired of it taking over New Jersey. Like, we want to hear about other people. Like, every time they come together in like a group, it's like always Teresa and Joe, and Melissa, Louis, Teresa, Joe, and Melissa. Like, listen, we want something else. And so I either leave it alone, leave each other alone, or agree to not use these things as weapons against each other. Because that's what the problem is. It's like every time they say that they're going to move on, all they do is think about the stuff that each other have done to each other in the past. But you can't do that. You got to let the past go.
I agree. And I think that I actually enjoy Jersey better when Melissa and Teresa are getting along. I think that when I know that Teresa and Melissa are not going to be fighting on my screen, I can look up to different type of drama. I can look up to other storylines. I feel like this whole Teresa and Melissa, Teresa versus Joe, it's taking up space because it's not something new. It's something that we've been at for years, almost 10 years.
Yep.
I think actually 10 years.
10 years, I'm about to say, yeah.
You know, like, so it's just like, I'm not excited for it. Even though it's drama, I'm not excited for it because we've been here.
Yes.
Again, Joe and Joe legitimately fought each other.
Right.
We've been to the gutter multiple times. I don't need it again between y'all. So I feel like I'm over it next season.
And
I don't
poor
see
Louis,
space.
like, I will say, one thing I can't commend him for, like I said, I can't commend him for a lot of things, but the one thing I can't commend him for is he did want to talk to, Melissa, like genuinely wanted to kind of talk to her, and it kind of, did get messed up. But like, I really feel like they probably could have had some type of breakthrough if they had been left alone long enough to kind of get there.
Teresa definitely fucked that up.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad for Melissa and Louis because it's like y'all are coming into like a sibling rivalry, and it's kind of like, okay, well, I got to take it for my spouse, right? And it's almost even like I wish they would stay out of it too. Allow the brother and the sister to do their thing, right? Like, I don't know, but like you said, when Melissa and Teresa are getting along, whether it's for a moment or what, like it is nice. Like even when they were at Danielle's house, was it? Or somebody's house, and they were talking about like the bridesmaid stuff, and they kind of like made up that day. She's like, well, do you want to be a bridesmaid? Like, I felt like that was kind of like, okay, cool. Y'all had a disagreement, y'all talked out, and everything was okay after that. Then here we go again.
So that was my same feeling. I feel like when they were having, when Teresa was legitimately saying like, do you want to be a bridesmaid? I feel like Teresa was legit being genuine, and Melissa, I feel like she was gagged. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Melissa was gagged in the moment she said, if I say yes, then this entire situation goes away and I have nothing to stand on. So if I say no, I can drag this on, and this is my storyline. I'm sorry. That's what I think. When I'm viewing the show, it comes off that way because Teresa has shown us many different scenarios where she's legitimately trying to make the situation better. In my opinion, whether she's doing it for filming or not, she's filming with therapists. She's getting help. She's getting, she's going for other opinions. She's trying to fix situations, and I feel like it just keeps getting dragged on. And all the ladies in Ireland had a dinner, and they start talking about bridesmaids' dresses, and this is what happened.
I'm stressed out about your wedding, are you?
Not yet. Let's wait till next week, and then I have to get all this done.
Did you guys get your dresses?
We ordered them. We went to the dress store that Teresa's getting all her bridesmaid dresses from.
They're so nice.
They're beautiful.
What made you decide to make Jen and Dolores bridesmaids? Like, what was that?
These two have been really a big supporter of Louis and I. They really have. Like, that means a lot to me. And then I'll be honest with you, I was like nervous. I was like, I didn't want to ask them because I was like, I didn't want like another problem with my brother.
Why would he make a big deal about it? You picked other friends too.
I just didn't want to hear like another thing, you know? Like about your mom. And I swear if he would have told me, I would have been like, oh my God, yes, thank you for telling me. No problem.
I know, but when they asked you, you didn't say that. You said, oh, there's a history.
Like back in the day.
Right, so that's, you didn't forget her.
Not your mom, I mean, like back in the day, like there's, I don't.
Me and you back in the day didn't even speak.
Right, but you are through obligation.
I was what?
You are invited, like.
You think because of obligation?
What?
Whoa,
Back that up.
Poor Jen. Poor Jen. This is what I'm talking about. Jen, let her handle the situation. Let her handle the situation. I have thoughts about this scene though, because I understand Melissa's point. Why is my mom not invited if I am invited and we have beef? If you're reasoning to not wanting my mom there is because you had a past, we also had a past. So if you can invite me, you should be able to invite my mother, especially because think about it. Your in-laws become sometimes you get really close with your in-laws. So
yeah, it seems like that's how it is in the Italian culture.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching an old episode of Jersey the other day where the girls were in a cast strip, and it was Joe, Nono, Melissa's mother, and Antonia that went out to dinner, and Melissa and Nono and Melissa's mother were like, super close, like they're family, So I understand like Melissa's like being annoyed at the fact that you're not inviting my mom. Like that definitely does feel a little bit like a dig. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know. This situation is
two things I want to point out in this. Yes, the what you pointed out about Melissa's mother, yes, because Teresa lied. Like you didn't want to invite that lady. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Joe shouldn't have had to come to you and say, hey, why you invite her? Because other people asked. And what you could have said was, you know what? I didn't even think about it. I forgot about it. She should be there. Let me extend the invite. That's what Louis did. You get what I'm saying? But that's not how you kicked it. So don't try to be like, if he would have called me and said, because people already had said it to you.
Right.
So Teresa, you lied. And I don't like that. But another thing about this scene was I understand what Jen is saying about like the obligation thing, right? Like it came out.
Me
like,
too.
Real
Me too.
Whatever.
How did you take it?
Like, I don't think that Jennifer should have said it. Because again, like I said, she needs to stay out of it. However, I understand what she's saying. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because if we are not cool with each other, right? I don't know if I want to be at your wedding. But then again, I'm like, maybe that's petty though, that I can't put my feelings aside for one day to celebrate something that means a lot to you, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like a catch-22, but it's, I don't know.
You know how I took it in that moment? And I'm gonna give you two theories. First one is that Jen incidentally broke the fourth wall and said, you're an obligation because we're doing a show. Like, like we're going to get invited. Teresa's filming this. This is going to be part of our season.
March, dude.
Like, because I feel like that's also why low-key Teresa invited the other girls. No shade. Because Danielle got invited and Rachel Fuda got invited and Jen Fessler got invited. So I feel like part of me, when I first heard Jen said that, I was like, oh, she kind of meant like an obligation because you guys are filming. The other part of me felt like, well, you're an obligation because you're Joe's wife.
Right,
like, that's her brother. You're his wife. And, of course, whether she wants it or not, she's obligated to invite you because you guys are together. I think that when she said it, it was not the space for that. And it just made Teresa look bad. And also, something that I hate about this group is that Marge, Jackie are so ready to jump on anything that Teresa and Jennifer say. Like they're so ready. Like whenever they're in group scenes as soon as Jennifer or Teresa say something out of pocket, you see all of them just jumping like, like hawks. Calm down. Like,
yeah, but that's on both sides though, and I think it's the
you think so?
whole. Yeah, because Jim does it too. Now, the only person that I see, like I said, that kind of stays kind of neutral is Dolores, which is why I can respect her, right? Like, and then she's going to tell it like it is, whether it's Teresa or whether it's Melissa, and that's what I can kind of respect about Dolores. But both sides do the same thing, and that's why I want the feud to stop, because once they stop feuding, then everybody else will stop feuding too, right? Like their feud is like a bubble, right? And it's like getting so big that now it's like multiple, everybody's in the bubble, right? So that's the thing. Another thing I point out too, now that it popped up in my head, is the fact that Dolores is a bridesmaid when you were not even invited to the bridal shower. So how did you go from not being invited to the bridal shower to being a bridesmaid?
Okay, so let's be completely real. Like, that was super shady of Teresa to not invite Dolores to the bridal shower. I understand that Dolores is a loyal friend to the point that she feels that if Teresa didn't invite me, she has her reasons. I don't have a problem with it. Dolores is that loyal. Dolores is that loyal where she doesn't question little things, and she doesn't take them too personal. But I feel that a bridal shower is an important event that happens in weddings. So it's when you're having a wedding, you're having a bridal shower. So to not be part of that, and you're one of my closest friends and we're on a show together, that was very weird.
Very weird. But we all know that they say part, or allegedly the reason is because Dina was the one that was hosting the bridal shower. And that's the thing. Like, if you are going to host a bridal shower for someone, it's not about you and who you like and who you don't like, right? You are hosting this bridal shower for the bride, so it's all about who she likes. So you could have put your differences aside for that one
You
day.
didn't have to. I mean, Dina did not have to say one word to Dolores.
Absolutely not. I'm pretty sure there was plenty of people there to keep y'all 10 people apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
So that's my only thing.
And you could have set her with Melissa at the little kids table. How Melissa got sat at the other table chair.
Absolutely could. Would have kept Melissa, company, and maybe that wouldn't have been a topic on the show.
Right.
But so that's the one thing I don't like, and it's kind of why I kind of get why Melissa was like, when Teresa asked, "Well, do you want to be in the wedding?" I kind of get why she was like, "No, it's okay. Like, I'm okay not being in the wedding." Because it's like second thought, right? Like nobody wants to be a second thought to somebody.
Yeah,
and
I
mean, Dolores does, but I'm just saying, like, okay, move on.
No, but you know what's funny? Talking about Dolores, we're gonna play another clip because the girls talk more about the bridesmaids situation in the after show. And I wanna listen to a clip that I pulled because it's very juicy. I want you to look at Dolores' face though, because I feel like Dolores, she's so real, and sometimes she knows to keep her mouth quiet, but her face tells it all. Like, it's just like, come on now.
Wedding guest list is a point of contention once again.
You're going to keep pressing me and pressing me. Yeah, all right. I mean, did I say anything? What did I say?
Jennifer actually said something.
You didn't get her. You
Not
get
your mom. Not your, I mean.
Right, but you are through obligation. I was what? You are invited, like...
You think because of obligation?
What? I said she has to invite Melissa out of obligation?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I don't remember saying that.
Ooh. Yes, it sounds familiar because Melissa's sister said that at the christening, that I was only invited because of, what was her exact...
formality.
Yes. Thank you. You guys could flash back to that.
Why'd you invite me then?
It was a technicality, I think.
Excuse me?
I think it was a technicality.
Don't even talk.
Yes, her own sister said that. I keep making a bigger deal of this than it is.
Like about your mom. And I swear if he would have told me, I would have been like, oh my God, yes, thank you for telling me. No problem. I know, but when they asked you, you didn't say that. You said, oh, there's a history. Like back in the day.
Like, I'm in a happy place. I'm getting married, so I want to be happy.
I think I just zone out now whenever anybody starts talking to me about like the wedding stuff, and like I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to get upset. I don't want to hear it. Just get married already, would you?
That it was
But
giving
see,
hate.
that's
It
the
was giving hate.
it was, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to. I would never be in a space with someone where we might have a falling out, or maybe we don't like each other. But I'm not gonna hate on nothing that you have going on. Like that. That's when it starts getting too far. And to me, that tells me more about you than about the person that you supposedly are not getting along with. But yeah, but you see how Teresa was like, well, her sister. That is the reason why their beef will never end. Because
Right.
anytime somebody
It's
does something,
always
always, well, you did this, you did, and as long as they're pointing the fingers, it'll just never go away.
I've said this, we've hosted together on Reality Right After and other shows, and I've said this in other platforms that sometimes Teresa is winning the argument, but she loses it because she doesn't know how to articulate and she doesn't know how to express herself sometimes. And I feel that in that dinner in Ireland, when she said, if you guys would have called me, I would have added her to the list. And then Melissa responded, but that's not what you said, because when you were asked, you said that you guys have a history. I understand Teresa in the sense of like, yes, I didn't originally invite her because we have a history. But if you were actually upset, you should have called me directly and I would have added her right away.
Right.
Instead of you coming to the group or you going to everybody else and say that you're upset because my mom is not invited. If you were actually upset and you really feel like I did something wrong, you should have called me and said, Teresa, why isn't my mom invited to the wedding? Not wait for it to be like a group discussion. So I understand
But
that part of her.
they did bring it to Melissa though, because I don't even think Melissa knew that her mom was invited. Somebody told her that her mother was invited.
Yeah.
So that's
Somebody.
why it got brought up. But yeah, like you said, I mean, again,
It's
if
also
you guys are trying to get into it,
Rachel Fuda. It's like,
yes. That's why
calm down.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know if I can, talk to you anymore. But yeah, but that could have been a prime example of, hey, let me just go to the source and figure it out versus starting up more drama, right? Like that's what they need. Like, hey, somebody called me and said this. Let's talk it out and then we can put it to bed and move on. Instead of, like you said, add more fuel to the fire by talking about it with other people.
Right.
But again, listen, like, don't invite my mom out of obligation though. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't put her on your list because you didn't want her there, then that's cool too. You get what I'm saying? Like, it is your wedding, and at the end of the day, with the wedding, people are paying for the people that are coming to their wedding. So it's kind of like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna add any extra cost on if that was the reason why you didn't invite her, or like you said, sometimes you might can only invite 200 people. So you're kind of going down your list. Your mom might have been 201. She just didn't make the cut. Listen, I'm just saying, like, it happens.
No, but you're right, and I think that it is what it is. I feel like this reunion, the reunion films next week, and this reunion is gonna be very telling. This and Kay, you cannot deny Jersey always gives during reunions.
They do.
Like,
I will say they do. Like,
they always clock in.
But go to the reunion, and yes, you're right.
They definitely clock in. The reunions are definitely super entertaining, and I feel like in the recent years the production company has kind of understood that if it's two parts, let's give two good parts instead of dragging this out to three and it'd be boring. I feel like they're really good at keeping what's important and what's juicy and cutting out fluff. But I do think that this reunion, I feel like they need to change the format. I think that we need to handle the things that we need to handle as a cast. But I think that Andy needs to take all the women back and sit down Teresa, Louis, Joe, and Melissa and have a one final, like, this is it.
Yes. If you next season, that's gonna be your last season, because we ain't talking about this no more.
Like, this is the final chapter. This is the final sit down. From here, we either have to resolve or we have to agree to go our separate ways. So where do we go from here? So I really do think that they need to, like, give us at least, I think they need to make it 3 parts. And I think the last one should be a sit down with just the Gorgas and the Judases, because enough is enough.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe,
maybe that's the breakthrough.
And we'll break through. Maybe Andy will bring a licensed therapist on there.
I mean, listen, Andy got uh oh my god, the name is blanking. Dr. Simone
Yeah.
and
They
and,
got
and
that
her,
together. Yep.
Dr. Simone and her husband together, child. So they don't got Contessa and her husband together. Like Andy
But
has gotten.
also they had a supportive cast though. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
the
yes,
cast was
yes.
kind of like, no, y'all ain't breaking up like this. But you don't have that
With Jersey.
with Jersey. So it's
Wha-
kind of Andy on his own. And
yeah.
to be honest with you, if I was Andy, I probably would give it to somebody else. Because listen, y'all don't want to hear what I got to say. Because what I have to say, listen, y'all will have beef with me after that.
Right. It's like I'm tired of this. Like we literally did this already. You guys are asking me, you're putting me back in this situation. Yeah, it's definitely like, but I definitely think that
I like that.
this is it. This is it. This reunion. This reunion is going to be the final showdown. And I think that the way this reunion goes is also going to be very telling for season 14 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, because changes have to be made after this. Like whether Teresa and Melissa make up and we go into Kumbaya again, or one has to walk away. I don't know if the show can live with the both of them beefing all the time. However, I will say Melissa knows how to avoid Teresa in scene. So I feel like they can coexist and not
that's what I
have,
was gonna say. If you
you
can
know?
coexist without the drama, then okay, cool. We'll try that and see if that works. But if you can't, then absolutely we gotta make some decisions. Somebody's gonna have to go. But hopefully, I don't know. I wish I could help them. I mean, but I think they be beyond my help, honey.
No, for real. For those who literally just saw my rude ass sister just walk into my frame, talking on speakerphone, like how rude. Anyways, this is what happens. But yeah, no, I'm over it. This needs to end, and we're gonna end. I wanted to get your opinion on, just overall thoughts this season. Where do you feel like we're at? Is this so far, what's your grade for the Real Housewives of New Jersey season 13?
I'm gonna give them a C plus.
Okay.
Thus far, and like I said, it could be higher, but with all of the drama, I can't. Like if it was less of their drama, it would definitely be a higher score. But their drama, like I said, is so draining that it drains their score down. So like we can't even see Dolores in love. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I mean, I don't even know what Jennifer has going on outside of talking about the Gorgas against Melissa. Oh well, I mean, she's going to therapy with her husband, but
Yeah. No,
I
next
take a good thing.
I definitely agree with you. I think that so far C plus B minus territory is definitely where I stand. I think that there's definitely potential with the newbies. I think that Jennifer is a powerhouse and Jennifer's not going anywhere. I think Margaret's a powerhouse as well. Whether I like what she does in the show or not, she is a great housewife and she keeps the needle going. I don't think Margaret is going anywhere soon. I think that Dolores, something big has to happen in Dolores's life, because I don't see myself being interested in whatever Dolores has going on if it's just the
Now,
same.
I will say, listen, and Dolores, honey, if you're listening to this, get with Wellington and call me because I'm trying to figure out how this woman, she gets her a man, honey, and these men be giving her the world. Do you understand?
No, we have to reach out to Dolores and we have to interview her or something, because she needs to give us the key.
Yeah, getting houses. Not one house, houses. Come on, Dolores.
Because if I need to get a BBL, I will.
Listen.
Like
something.
No, she does.
But Dolores, she must got the good cookie. That's all I can tell you because man.
Girl. Allegedly. No, she definitely is doing something right. Yeah, I think that this is this is a good season so far. I mean, Jersey also always does good when it comes to ratings, and they're still high up in the ratings. Their fans are loyal. I just
Yeah.
think that this is really a make it or break it season, and we're gonna continue to watch. Next week we're probably gonna get more into, Jennifer. I definitely want to talk about Jennifer, Aiden, and Bill, their current
Yeah.
situation. I wanna talk about other storylines that are happening in the show that we didn't hit today. But again, thank you so much, Kay, for joining today. And Kay is going to be joining us every week on the podcast as a host. So make sure that you guys stay tuned as we, flip the table every week and we talk about the Real Houses of New Jersey. If you haven't already, or if you don't know, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Flipping the Table Pod. And that's it. And also follow us at the Reality Rundown for all reality TV news, and make sure you guys stay updated with everything. Thank you, Kay. Thank you,
Absolute
listeners.
pleasure.
Of course. See you next week. Bye.